Hello guys, I am playing Sky. Okay. And I've just played a little bit of it, like the intro, and a bit. And I do not know what to do here. So the Whitehead is my so-called light. It's pretty cool. The fact remains that Amore was tied to but hello, today is Jetapod. Coupled with the colorful packaging, specific accessories question mark, question mark, question mark. A hidden refuge lost time. Or not, the kids are already facing the consequences, as we've seen on social media. So how can adults protect children in their lives from falling for a marketing campaign that allegedly preys on their impressionable nature? Well, according to Dr. Scott Hadlin, first parents need to recognize the signs that their child could be misusing Galaxy Gas. Look at this! Wow!
A lot of the patients that I care for that use these inhalants or nitrous oxide will also inhale other things, so they might also
it's hopeful, Steward.
glue
Not
or
helpful.
paint or kerosene or other sort of household chemicals. And so sometimes they'll also have a little bit of an odor on their clothing or on them if they've been, huffing these things.
WebMD also lists other key indicators, including disoriented movement and behaviors, a huffer's rash,
no thank you, I don't want to buy anything.
The mouth, frequent headaches,
I'm Stuart here.
and difficulties at work or school. The fact that nitrous oxide doesn't have an odor makes detection hard, but according to Dr. Scott Hadlin, not impossible, especially if you create a safe space for your child or teen to communicate.
Okay.
Open conversations with their kids and teens about drugs and
with
ask
me,
them what they're
helpful
seeing, what their
Stuart.
peers are doing, and ask if they've ever experienced pressure to try to do these things themselves.
Of course, if the abuse continues, consider seeking the professional help your child needs. After all, nitrous oxide is an old problem that's being sold to a new generation. And while the government is making slow moves to control access to this substance, for now, there's no telling how far this life-ruining habit will spread amongst today's youth. Before you go, don't forget, your next mystery awaits. Uncover hidden clues and solve thrilling mysteries in Secret Puzzle Society. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get started.
So, you might not understand quantum physics. You might not grasp the complex intricacies of political history, and maybe you don't know how to use an Oxford.
So another
But
friend.
none of that matters, because coming up, I've got some of the most terminally stupid people in the
I
world,
love
whose
its hair.
unintelligent antics are sure to make you feel a whole lot smarter.
I'm a step.
From DIY disasters and culinary catastrophes to not-so-cunning criminals and cosmetic
This is
mishaps.
strange. I do not want to go with them.
Because
This is a very strange place.
Part 3.
Uncover our darkened kingdom. Restore it with your flame.
Oftentimes, it's due to a severe deficiency of brain cells. Thanks to this terminal stupidity, criminals far and wide often find themselves in hilarious, sticky situations. Case in point, one burglar in Maryland attempted to do the old St. Nick by breaking in via the chimney. His grand heist was thwarted when the fire brigade had to excavate the coal-covered criminal from the chimney after he became thoroughly stuck. Dumb burglar 0, instant karma 1. Elsewhere, in Liverpool, England in 2023, another dim-witted delinquent, otherwise known as Edmund Leica, was wanted by police for possession and distribution of a controlled substance. As the cops raided his house, Edmund had, what seemed to him, the genius idea to hide on the roof.
Is that a TV?
Sure, this evaded one police officer, though his roof
it's a rock.
were no match for the police helicopter
It's a chair?
when it captured this hilarious mugshot. As a result, Edmund was ultimately jailed for 2 years and 4 months. But the wonderful
Oh,
will last
I could change my
Now, everyone
hair.
knows that rule number 1 of crime is to always cover your tracks. It's like the first thing they teach you in criminal school. Still, when this criminal dumped tons of his trash in the countryside of Cambridgeshire in the UK,
I like that.
he foolishly left some of his mail, complete with his address, amongst the junk. With the litter bug easily located, he was rightfully fined a hefty $300. But if that sounds a lot, just consider that this next airhead was responsible for damages worth $42,000
Oh,
when
I
she
like
visited an art
this.
exhibition in Miami. Having come across one of Jeff Koons' iconic balloon dog sculptures made from porcelain, the bemused woman audaciously prodded at the priceless work to determine whether it was a real balloon or not. And considering that real balloons don't typically smash into smithereens like this, it's safe to say that the woman certainly got her answer. Now, growing up, my mom always said, you break it, you bought it. Though, incredibly, this bozo got away scot-free. On the plus side, this seems like the perfect opportunity.
That looks
for the
kind of like an
Japanese
elephant.
art of kintsugi,
Others like you, wait,
aka the
child.
concept
This
of
journey
repairing broken
is yours
pottery
to
by
share.
joining the pieces with a gold-rusted lacquer to make the original thing more beautiful and unique than before. Sadly, though, no amount of gold can fix stupid. Just ask the businessman who spent $240,000 on a solid gold shirt. Does that seem like a savvy investment to you? Well, let's move on to some folks whose dumb decisions got them into some very dirty situations indeed. Now, allow me to paint you a picture. Back in 2017, Liam Smith brought home a date who, for reasons that'll soon become clear, will remain anonymous. For the sake of simplicity, we'll call her Debbie. As the pair chatted over a romantic bottle of wine, Debbie excused herself to go powder her nose, or, in not-so-polite terms, take a big ol'... Now, here's where things took an extreme turn. The smooth criminal dropped a deuce, but to her horror, the toilet wouldn't flush. Panicked, Debbie quite literally took fecal matters into her own hands as she hurled the turd through the window. But this, I'm afraid, isn't even half of it. You see,
Do you think I should
Liam's
start
house is
doing,
pretty
Sky
unconventional, in the
videos?
sense that the bathroom window consists of two windows
Wait, what?
with a big gap
Oh,
in
there's
between,
multiple
meaning that
candles.
when Debbie
I get it
yeeted
now.
her backdoor brownie,
Oh,
it
here's
got
another.
stuck down in the gap between the two windows. Now, I'd just like to clarify that this was a first date, so you can imagine Liam's shock when his date returned from the little girl's room bearing the news that her captain's log was trapped between his bathroom windows. Nevertheless, Liam ventured forth into the bathroom, and upon seeing how deeply wedged the smelly intruder had gotten, he suggested they smash the window to retrieve it. However, having done amateur gymnastics, Debbie assured him that she could shimmy her way down and retrieve her droppings. Only in doing so, she became too stuck, and after a lot of struggling...
Ooh, that is very pretty.
Fireman, this was fun. We should do this again sometime, said neither of them. And while Debbie was bold enough to drop her logs on a first date, Irish teen Cara Clark was extremely shy of even farting in front of her boyfriend of 2 years. So much so, she foolishly bottled up her butt burps to the point of giving herself appendicitis, which can sometimes be triggered by long-lasting bodily blockages of this kind.
Those two should date, like, for real.
Consequences of her stupidity, Cara has now vowed to always let it rip, which is not exactly great news for those around her. Now, as a Taco Bell connoisseur,
Oh,
I can
I like
assure
this,
you that
like,
I've clogged a
snowy.
fair few toilets in my time. Now, typically, I'll whip out my trusty plunger, but the Texas woman Gracie Henderson wasn't fortunate enough to have one on hand when she needed one. So, as any Texan would, she used her bare hand to try unblocking the toilet. Home alone,
Was that a
Gracie
horse? The
intended
rest
her
of the
turd
kingdom
twiddling to
cries
be
for
brief and
your help.
confidential.
You're
But
needed.
having forgotten to take off her watch, her hand became stuck. A prisoner to
Last
the
tap on
toilet,
yourself to
gross
call your
Gracie
light.
was left no option but
Your
to call
light.
in the fire brigade. Though
When
when they
lost,
had to
tap on
remove
yourself
the
to
whole
call.
system and escort
Your light
Gracie
will
and her
reveal the
toilet into
path.
the yard in order to free her,
Oh.
things only became all the more humiliating. Still, I guess the toilet's unclogged
There.
now, right? And for
I
that
didn't know
matter,
what to
while we're
do.
still on the riveting topic of bogged up poop chutes, using a compressed air cannon isn't an advisable toilet unclogging instrument either, as I'm sure you'll agree after seeing this next clip.
that
I mean,
looks very
think it works?
fancy.
Perhaps a little
Wait,
too
what the heck is
well,
that?
though the use of a flimsy
the-
towel as a poop guard
What
is
the...
inadvisable. But as the old saying goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Moving on to something a little less filthy. These days, makeup and cosmetics are a great way for people to express themselves. Though, when in the wrong hands, stupid people's hands, that is, cosmetics can quickly become disastrous.
Ooh,
Take, for
fancy.
example, TikToker Muwa,
Very
who
pretty.
wanted to incorporate vampire fangs
The
into a
stars
makeup
were
look,
once
but
united, and
actually
our light
stuck
was
them to her
infinite.
teeth with nail glue.
Okay.
The first of us descended to build a kingdom in the clouds.
Panicking upon realizing they wouldn't come off because, you know, she used freaking glue, she posted a follow-up video
But we
explaining
took
how
her
she
light
doesn't even
for
have
granted.
dental or health insurance. It seemed like she would be forever stuck with these comical canines. However, just a few hours later, after
And in
chowing down
shadow,
on some cereal,
we
the
withered
teeth
away.
miraculously fell out. Now, she may have gotten freaky this time, but it's only a matter of time before
A long
she does
time
something
has
ill-advised
passed.
that's
Now,
actually
you bring
permanent.
us hope.
I don't know, give me a face tattoo. Oh. Speaking of which,
Go forth,
mirror,
child.
mirror on the
Return
wall,
your
who
light
has
to
the
our fallen
worst
stars.
face tattoo of them all?
Ooh, that's pretty
Well,
fun.
that, I'm afraid, goes to this next woman who made the fatal error of having her boyfriend's
that's-
name tattooed on her forehead.
Mhm.
After they broke up, she was now ready to cut that and put her ex, Derek, in the past once and for all, having presumably learned her lesson about relationship tattoos. Well, not so much. Demonstrating her extraordinary levels of stupidity,
Hi, cat.
she made the
Hi,
inconceivable
cat.
choice to cover up her
Hi,
ex's
Jingle
name
Bell.
with her new love, Timothy. And should her new relationship fail, well, she's left with two options. Either get it covered up again, or
No.
only date
Oh.
Timothy's.
Come
The
on.
only redeeming factor of the tattoo, if any at all, is that it's at least spelled correctly. The same, unfortunately, cannot be said for this next one. After going in for a tattoo of the word Scorpio,
Hello,
as in her
friend.
zodiac sign, TikToker Kaya McCann was left with an embarrassing typo, as the tattoo actually read Score I Pio. Now, you might be quick to assume that this was a blunder of some pea-brained tattoo artist. However, I wouldn't be so sure. After all, numerous times on her TikTok prior to the tattoo, Kaya misspelt Scorpio as Scoripo. Seems likely to me that
Hi.
it was, in fact, she who misspelled the word when requesting it to the tattoo artist. Still, that is neither confirmed
Okay.
nor denied. Either way, according to LoveToKnow.com, Scorpios are
Cat, what are you doing? What did you see? Why'd you fall backwards? What happened? Why are you looking outside the door?
Certainly is.
Oh,
Now,
you're doing the
something
little
that rarely
wiggle.
goes well is a self-done
Aww.
It's best to go to a professional, but if
Oh, too
you're
bad I couldn't
still
show
not
you
convinced, then just
guys.
use this next clip as a cautionary tale. Courtesy of TikToker Emily Webb, the video shows her attempting to give herself bangs. Though what ensued might only be described as the
This
mother
is
of all bad
strange.
hair days.
Find and free the spirits still trapped in this place. Hey, where'd my friend go? Where'd my bestie go? Where are you, girl? Oh, new friend. Oh. Oh.
Safe to assume Nick Carter from the Backstreet
Oh,
Boys wasn't the look
oh,
Emily had in mind.
oh,
Though
oh,
that, unfortunately, was the consequence of her stupidity.
Hey,
Hair fails
are we
are
all
a
friends?
plentiful crop of the internet, and elsewhere on TikTok, user Roni also attempted to cut herself some bangs, with somehow even less success than the previous clip. Check it out. I'd invest in a hat or a paper bag if I were her.
New
Not only did she
friends.
gather too few strands of hair, but she was pulling her curly hair taut and didn't compensate for the loss of length when it bounced back into place. It reminds me of Courtney Cox's bangs from Scream, but impressively worse. Moving on, one of the saddest things about growing up is that they don't make toys for adults. Well, you know what I mean. Still, some adults have foolishly tried their luck at squeezing themselves into child-sized
Hey, Tito.
toys, only to wind up stuffed. Take, for example, this girl who got jammed in this playground equipment. It's unclear why or how she exactly got there, though it looks like Ozzy Osbourne is doing a really great job at rescuing her. I'm stuck. Similarly, this guy also tried his luck in the same kind of playground grown-up trap. Would you believe it? To the same... These things are like mousetraps, but for idiots. Likewise, one girl had to be rescued by the fire brigade after attempting to slam dunk herself through a basketball hoop. Seems like she forgot the nets get narrower towards the bottom. Hey, 2 points regardless. Our journey of ill-fitting tomfoolery doesn't stop there. In fact, 2 brainless women's dumb decisions led to them being caught up in a Macy's children's grocery cart. Terminally sandwiched in there, they're now left to wander the earth like Siamese crabs, pathetically scuttling their legs to propel their wheels.
We're back.
Sadly, though, this fatal condition affects dumb people all around the world, as can be seen here when this drunken rascal from Yorkshire, England, also stumbled his way into a child's
All given
car.
breath by starlight. The first of us lived in joy that we would one day return to the stars. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh.
One second, go, 1 sec. Can you get your arm? I don't, I can't stop laughing. See about it. No, 1 second, please.
Okay, no.
And this, kids, is why you should never drink and drive. Truth be told, though, we all do stupid things when we've had a few Shirley Temples. Though I must say, despite
Many of us are still
many
trapped in these
drunken
realms.
disasters, this next one beats them all. Back in 2022, Lindsay Clark...
Please, child, bring ... bring your light to our fallen spirits. Ooh.
It was then that Lindsay made the fatal error of attempting to freeze the jacket. And this is what ensued.
Oh man. I wanna go back up there. Eesh. No. Hey, where are you, bud? Hey.
Talk about bottoms up, right? It's times like these you really are grateful for phone cameras. That said, I certainly wasn't grateful for phone cameras at last year's work Christmas party. Yikes.
Wait, I need to go back
Let's not
over
go
here.
on that
What
thread.
was over here?
Moving on, though, it takes a special kind of stupid to lock yourself in a dog crate by
Ew.
accident. Unbelievable.
What? No, not you, but
California couple, Stephanie Ferrari and her husband, Jared. The pair were filming a video for Stephanie's TikTok account where she shared dog
I know
training
people.
tips. But as you'll soon see, what was captured on their home security cameras certainly isn't a dog care technique you should aim to repeat.
Oh. My friend left me behind. Oh. Oh. Oh, 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 oh.
All I can say is that if two people are both dumb enough to hop inside dog crates that don't open from the inside, then they're clearly made for each other. But while Stephanie and her husband weren't exactly fans of being in the doghouse, one Japanese man's life goal is to, in fact, become a dog himself. So much so, he spent a staggering $14,000 on a hyper-realistic dog
Oh,
suit,
there it
which
is.
he now
I
strolls
feel
around
so
the park in.
stupid.
And while at a glance he may look like a real dog, I can't help but feel like spending that obscene amount of money to be able to crawl around
I
the
love
park
this
trying
game.
to convince folks you're a dog is all little creepy. On to the culinary world now, and cooking, granted, isn't for everyone. That said, there are some numbskulls out there who can't even cook the simplest of dishes. For example, frozen pizza. You take it out of the box and put it in the oven. Pretty simpler. One guy even screwed that up after cooking his pizza on a plastic chopping board. Why? Well, his little noggin thought that this would be an effective way to catch any cheese that
Beyond
melts
this
off.
gate is a
Might I
temple where
suggest,
elders once shepherded
a
spirits
pizza
back
tray?
to the
In a
stars.
similar catastrophic food
But the
fail,
elders
one family
fell
opted
long
for a
ago.
more exotic evening meal when they decided to cook
That's
eels.
0 out of
However,
1.
clearly not having the culinary prowess to boot, they failed to realize that eels must be
Free the
unalive
spirit to
before
power the
cooking.
spirit gate
Safe to say,
and
they
reach
well
the
and
temple.
truly cooked up a storm. Yikes. I mean, does the 5-second rule apply when your food is still alive?
Friend.
Or, anyway,
Friend.
if eel isn't whetting your appetite,
Ich.
and I wouldn't blame you, then how about a nice big pot of yogurt? Oh, wait, no, I mean paint. Yep, when Alex Stein visited her 90-year-old granddad Bobby, she discovered that he had consumed half a liter of paint, having mistaken it for yogurt. I mean, I think after one spoonful, I might have realized I was eating paint. Never mind
Come on,
half a
friend.
liter. But hey, that's just me. Even so, Alex confirmed that her granddad was actually completely fine, despite having fluorescent mint green lips. All in all, a tasty meal and a stylish look. Now, Coke and Mentos is perhaps one of the oldest party tricks in the book. Trust me, I've been pranked enough times to know. Even still, one online dolt willingly poured some Mentos into a bottle of Coke and attempted to drink it. The reasoning behind this
Hello, friend-o-mo. Why, hello, friend-o-mo. Oh. Lemon. Yeah. Wait. Guys, lemon. Lemon, no. You gotta go over here.
That's the face of
Lemon.
hopefully,
Come
a
on.
valuable lesson. As Mentos react with Coke, carbon dioxide molecules attach to the candies, and bubbles form in huge quantities, which float up rapidly to blast their way into the face of anyone dumb enough to stand in their way. A very practical science lesson indeed. Boy, we've seen some pretty stupid people so far, huh? But you know what's even stupider? If you're not already subscribed to be amazed. Now, I'm a forgiving man, so I'll give you a moment to fix that. And while you're at it, why not like and comment too? Hey, cool. Now let's get back to more mind-blowingly dumb people. When it comes to the ladies, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Hey, I had internet.
So slow, in fact, that the dates
Hey.
never happen at all. Genius. See, the last thing you want to do is rush in like Alyssa Thomas and Terrence Green did, or as I call them, Dumb and Dumber. The pair met on a popular dating app, Hinge, and fell madly in love. Only problem being, Alyssa lived in Canada and Terrence in Michigan. Their cyber romance blossomed for a few weeks, and eventually Alyssa visited Terrence in Michigan.
Yep.
It was around this time that Terrence made
Oh, I can help you guys.
decision to tattoo Alyssa's name on
There.
his neck. You know, the girl he'd just met. But for Terrence, that didn't matter, as he knew Alyssa was the one. So much so
Oh, it's
that,
a
in fact, within a
boat.
matter of weeks, he had moved his entire life to Canada. And while I'd like to tell you that they lived happily ever after just 13 days, Teresa, a.k.a. Terrence, and Alyssa.
Oh, that's
They broke up
pretty.
after Terrence found himself unable to get along with Alyssa's friends. But hey, at least Terrence has Alyssa tattooed on his neck so he can remember her forever and ever and ever.
Tap the red dot to
But move
claim a
forward
new
we must,
ability.
and here we have yet another Michigan resident demonstrating a remarkable degree of stupidity when he decided to charge at a wasp's nest.
Me
with a
now
hockey stick.
pass. Okay.
He shoots, he scores! Though what the video doesn't show you is the part where an angry swarm
shepherd
of
the
wasps
spirit.
chase after him.
Huh, what are you
according
doing?
to Stacy Huntley, the
What the
man's
heck?
fiancée who captured the
That's
moment,
weird.
she had to stop recording as they fled into the house to escape the vengeful wasps. Sadly, all we got a peek
I'ma see
at
if I
was
can
the initial
fly.
blood sting before the footage cut off. But the sense of impending doom off camera is still pretty hilarious. From one brain to another, this next guy was attempting
Oh,
to
I
knock
did
down
it.
huge icicles suspended from his
Press and
roof.
hold
But,
yourself to
for
release a
reasons you'll
call.
see, it seems he didn't quite think it through
Oh,
properly.
friend. I want to make a friend. I want to make a friend. I want to make a friend, please.
I mean, for what it's worth, that roof looked like it was hanging on by a breadstick. So it was only a matter of time. Still, I don't think
just
the
want
guy's
new
intention was
friends.
too decapitated.
Strengthen
So
your
for that,
ring
he
with
has
the ring and
certainly
light
earned
to
his
fly
place
further.
here in my Stupid People Encyclopedia. These days, it can be difficult to be street smart. Though here are the basics that everyone knows.
Red
Don't
dot.
walk alone in sketchy parts of town after dark. Don't run aggressively towards large, intimidating gangs. And certainly, don't buy a dog from a mysterious stranger in the middle of the night. Still, one airhead from Kenya did just that. Though the decision, as you can imagine, proved regrettable when it turned out the dog wasn't a German Shepherd puppy as he'd been led to believe, but a literal hyena. He only realized his mistake later the next day when his new pet began acting dangerously, and the police in turn confiscated the animal. And after what the hyenas did to Scar,
Ah.
I'd want one as well either.
No.
Speaking
Oh,
of
did I do
individuals
it?
reaching the end of the
Did I do
road,
it?
visiting the cemetery isn't exactly anyone's idea of fun. Though put yourself in Sylvia Ross's shoes and imagine being
I couldn't
told
make
that
it
the
all
grave
the
of
way
her late
up.
father that you've been visiting for the past 43 years is actually the grave of a complete stranger called Frederick
Scandals are
Brown.
scared.
This
Click their
reality came
light
to light after
for
an internal investigation of
your
records of the
friendships.
cemetery in northeast England discovered
Please,
that
I
the grave
need
had been
friends.
labeled with the wrong
Why,
person's
yes.
plaque for all of those years. Yep, thanks to some
Yay,
outrageous
friend.
incompetency, this gravestone mix-up meant Sylvia and her family had been paying their respects in completely the wrong place for decades. On the bright side, I bet the ghost of the fellow who's actually buried there has been feeling a lot of love all this time. Moving on, we all face technical difficulties at some point or another, though one group of people who are especially allergic to
Wait, I really want
technology
friend.
is
Touch
old
both
people.
doors with your candle
That
to
said, their
open.
lack of
Wait,
technological fluency make
eh.
for some great entertainment.
Skip the thing.
When
Eh.
Twitter user Chris Arnold's dad attempted
I get it, I get it,
online
I get
shopping
it.
for reading glasses, he ironically misread the quantity
Friend,
and wound up with 60 pairs of glasses. With a blunder like that, perhaps he did need all those glasses after all. In another OAP computer faux pas, this Italian priest endearingly attempted to live stream a mass during lockdown. Though, as you'll soon see, there were, shall we say, a few wardrobe malfunctions.
Friend, oh man.